Here is a short story about Helen. Helen was a graceful young lady from a modest family, admired by many for her beauty, elegance, and confidence. Everywhere she went, heads turned, not just because of her looks, but because she carried herself with pride, as if nothing in the world could dim her light. Among the many who admired her was Donald, a roadside mechanic. His workshop sat along the same street where Helen often passed by with her friends. Every time he caught sight of her, his heart raced with wild hope. Donald wasn't ashamed of his trade. He was hard-working, rough-handed, and smelled of engine oil most times. But he felt Helen was too far above him. Still, he couldn't resist trying. "Helen, please give me a chance," he would say, wiping grease off his palms before running after her. Many times he sent little gifts, a necklace from the market, a pair of slippers, sometimes even fruit. But Helen always refused. She considered Donald beneath her. "I can never stoop so low," she would tell her friends, rolling her eyes whenever she saw him. Donald, however, was relentless. On more than one occasion, he abandoned customers just to chase her shadow down the street. People mocked him for being obsessed, but his feelings were stubborn. One bright afternoon, Helen strolled past his workshop with her friends. Laughter floated in the air as they chatted. Donald spotted her, dropped the spanner in his hand, and ran toward her with a small, carefully wrapped gift. He stopped right in front of her, breathless but hopeful. "Helen," he said, stretching his hand, "I got you this gift." Her friends giggled, whispering insults. Helen folded her arms and shook her head. "Donald, how many times will I tell you? I don't want it. Stop embarrassing yourself." His face darkened with hurt, but he managed a quiet voice. "Why do you always reject it?" "I'm not saying you should be my girlfriend. I just want to be kind to you. If you receive it, it will make me happy." Something in his tone pierced her pride. Helen hesitated, then sluggishly reached for the gift. She took it without saying thank you, and turned away, leaving Donald with a faint smile of victory. For the next 6 months, Donald tried harder, showering her with attention. But Helen's heart remained closed. She tolerated his persistence, yet never accepted his proposal. Soon, frustration built in him. His friends, tired of watching his endless chase, whispered another path into his ear. "Donald," one said, "women like her will never say yes unless you show her you're in control. Use a charm. It will bend her will." At first, Donald resisted, but day by day his obsession grew darker. Finally, he gave in to the dangerous idea. With the help of those who claimed to know such things, he used the charm on Helen. Slowly, her resistance crumbled, not from choice, but from unseen chains. One evening, under the weight of that spell, Helen lost what she had guarded so carefully. What she once thought impossible became her shame. Weeks passed, and soon she discovered she was pregnant. The news shattered her world. She cried bitterly, not because of the child, but because of the man behind it. The thought that her pride had been broken by Donald, a roadside mechanic she had rejected countless times, cut deep into her soul. Her friends whispered about her downfall, and her family's disappointment burned her like fire. 9 months later, at the hospital, she delivered a bouncing baby boy. When she held the child, tears streamed down her face, not of joy, but of sorrow. She cursed the day Donald ever set his eyes on her. In that moment of bitterness, she raised her voice and declared, "Donald, for what you've done to me, you will never know peace. you will never find a wife, and no woman will bear you another child." From that day forward, her words followed him like a shadow. Though Donald longed for a family, no woman agreed to marry him. He grew older, watching other men celebrate wives and children, while he remained alone. Helen raised her son with determination, teaching him strength and warning him never to walk the path of his father. Donald's workshop remained, but his laughter died. He realized too late that what he gained through deceit only left him empty. Helen, though scarred, stood stronger, her pride broken, but her spirit unbent. And so their story became a lesson whispered in the neighborhood, a tale of pride, obsession, and the bitter harvest of choices made in desperation. Please kindly subscribe to this channel for more interesting stories.